Football's back and I am delighted. Much as I did enjoy doing it, I particularly enjoyed doing the video yesterday where I pretended to be the West Ham manager and Gio picked questions out the bowl. I could do a few more of them. That being said, I'm quite pleased to get back to the nitty-gritty of football and things that are actually happening rather than pretending are going to happen. I thought, the break... I'm in two minds about the break. I think the break did us good for reasons I've already explained, to give us some time on the training ground, and David Moyes to impart his ideas. I think because we've not been playing so well, I think it's not great to have sort of an inactive week where you're looking at yourself at the bottom of the Premier League. So I do believe that the Everton game is hugely important for us, but we'll cover that when myself and Gio do our Everton preview. Obviously, we've got a European game before that, and as I've hopefully you've already seen the preview for that. I think it's important. He plays a lot of first-team players, particularly Paqueta. I'm going to talk about Paqueta in this video, but a little bit of a news roundup now, just to get us back into the groove, get us back up and running in football terms. I think the first thing I've got to discuss in terms of news stories is the Zagadou rumour. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to do it because I might get a copyright infringement, but I really did. After I said Zagadou, I really wanted the clip from the 80s song, Zagadou, do, but I'm probably not going to do that because I don't really want to get a copyright ban on the YouTube channel. But anyway, Zagadou, 23-year-old former France defender. His contract expired at Borussia Dortmund. We actually discussed him 2 or 3 days ago. I say 2 or 3 days ago, it seems 2 or 3 weeks ago now, quite frankly. That apparently there's a couple of clubs in for him. We're one of them. I'm not sure how much I believe it, but it would be... I would be ignoring I guess a legitimate West Ham story if I didn't cover it in a sort of little news roundup. We're interested. Apparently Marseille are interested as well. Lyon are interested. I just don't know why we'd sign... it's Dan Axel Zagadou, by the way, which is a great name. I'm just not entirely sure why we would sign another centre half, really. Excuse me, I just dropped my mic. And earlier on, my muff fell off. By the way, it's all happening. So anyway, so that's that. I don't think it'll happen, but he's on a free... Something else dropped. Did you hear that? Anyway, there you go. I just don't believe we need another centre-back, or we'll get another centre-back. Be really good to see Dawson come back now and certainly start featuring again for us. So we'll forget about Zagadou. What was interesting was that Napoli pretty much confirmed that they'd received a mega offer for Zielinski from West Ham, which has been reported all over the Italian press. Now, if anybody saw the Liverpool game, Liverpool got their trousers pulled down by Napoli, really, didn't they? Zielinski looked really, really good. So clearly there was some serious interest there, and I just, as I felt for some time, David Moyes had this sort of 50 million-ish wedge burning a hole in his pocket. You'd need quite a big pocket, wouldn't you, I think, to be able to trouser 50 million. And he was going to spend it. So Zielinski was a legitimate target. So it just goes to show you probably can believe some of the rumours that you hear on that one. Obviously, we went for Paqueta instead. I want to deal with Paqueta in just a second. And there was another rumour as well, which was, I don't know if you know this guy. I don't know this one. Atalanta midfielder Ruslan Malinovski. He basically turned us down in the closing days of the transfer window. Nottingham Forest again, as if they hadn't bid for enough players. Nottingham Forest probably got plenty of players, haven't they? But then apparently us and Forest bid for this Malinovski. Now, what is interesting about this, he's a central midfielder. So it's... as I say, you know, not every rumour is false. Some of them are true, and I do wonder about this. What's the benefit of releasing this rumour now? Well, there's none really. So I guess you'd only sort of release it if it was true. Why were we sniffing around for another midfielder so close to the end of the transfer window? Was the plan for Coventry to go out on loan or something like that? I don't know. I think I just think it's a really, really weird one, actually. But there's a few of those. We've got what's his name? The Southampton defender, Bednarek. That's his name, isn't it? Bednarek. I always like to call him Ben Derrick. So we'll call him Ben Derrick for this one. He's basically said why he chose West Ham. why he chose Aston Villa over West Ham. He says it's important for me because I had a World Cup coming up soon. Basically, he said I'd had a more chance of starting at Aston Villa than I had at West Ham, which is fair enough and it's correct. So he probably did the right thing. I do wonder how many players did do that, actually. Before I go on to talk about Paqueta and a couple of other news stories, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app, which is where you can get a lot of these stories from. By the way, you can click and download the OneFootball app by using that link that's underneath the screen. The OneFootball app is free, and the best thing about it is you can tailor the app to your own specifications. So if you just want to get West Ham news, which is clearly all you want, and maybe your national team as well, so say I want West Ham and I want England, and what it'll do, it'll search through the whole internet, all the newspapers, and cherry pick the stories that are relevant to what you've said, West Ham and England. It'll bundle them all up, nice pack. It's not gift wrapped or anything, but it'll bundle them all up for you, deliver them to your phone, and that's precisely what I am reading off now. It's free. It's an excellent app. They're great supporters of the channel. It's the OneFootball app. If you click and use the link below, and I know you come from Hammers Chat, that'd do us a massive favour. Thank you very, very much. Paqueta, more lovely words, more lovely words. Now, I did put a little segment at the end of a video recently, and I did put on there and said, look, I did a little tester to see how many people watched to the end of the video. And by the way, firstly, can I say thank you very much to everybody that does watch to the end of the videos, because quite frankly, you end up watching another round of adverts, which massively helps out, particularly in the moment. It's been crap at the moment. There's just no football news around. But also, I'm really pleased because I put a little bit of silliness at the end, and clearly a lot of you did watch it, and you were quoting and phrasing what I said. For those of you that missed it, the other day, I'm going to tell a different story about Paqueta now, by the way, but the one I told the other day was that it was a story about how West Ham fans had made Paqueta's mum and sister cry, and he was going to pay them back. And what I did, I put a little sinister twist on it. So you can read that either way. Do you know what I mean? He got all Don Corleone on us, and anyway. But no, he was basically our welcome was so wonderful that his mum and his sister cried, and he's going to pay the West Ham fans back with performances. I can't wait to see some magic from this player. It's a little bit of a shame. Like we just had the break, right? I think it's a little bit of a shame that we didn't really see more than a couple of glimpses of what Paqueta can do. Because actually, I think, the week without football, I think we'd be looking forward to to football resuming a lot more if we'd seen some real magic from him. And I think it's going to come, and he seems really determined. I like the way he's speaking. And I do think that's important, by the way. I remember saying similar stuff about Fornals, the way Fornals was speaking. You can tell a lot about a player's attitude from that. Anyway, so here's what he said about... he said it about the London Stadium, funny enough. But it was about what helped convince him to join West Ham. And I do think there are a number of things that convinced him to join West Ham. One of them, he said, was his mate, Bruno Guimaraes, at Newcastle, who turned around and said you should join West Ham. They're a good club. He said they're really tough to play against. I mentioned in my video with Gio. I think that's really important as well, because it's not like he turned up at West Ham expecting us to play like Brazil. He knew we were, I guess, a defensive-minded team. Not just because Bruno said so, but he'd played against us, which is what these comments are about here. Also, Emerson was a big part of it, and he played with Cornet as well. So he feels he's got some mates over at West Ham anyway, and I believe Bruno at Newcastle's his best mate. I don't know if that's true or not. So there was a lot of reasons for him to come over it. Anyway. This is what he said about playing against West Ham. He said, after we played West Ham in Europa League last season, we all said as players what a fantastic stadium it was and how great the fans were and what energy there was in the place. Now, there wasn't there? Let's be fair here, and I'm a big critic of the stadium. The European nights, and particularly the Sevilla and Lyon games, they were good. There was a really good atmosphere there. Anyway, what did he say? He said there was great energy in the place. And there was. He said it's definitely something that influenced my decision as well, without a doubt. It's an incredible club and something I wanted to experience. It was really that desire that everybody showed in this amazing project, blah, 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 blah. He said, when I arrived... So I say blah, blah, blah. The rest of the sentence was boring. I'm editing it for you. Take my word for it. He said, when I arrived here, I saw how much everybody... and all the fans had, I think he means how much faith everybody had in me, how happy they were to see me here. It just makes me want to reward them and pay them back. There it is again. Each time I go on the pitch, commit myself and devote myself to this club. Commit myself and devote myself to this club. That'll do, mate. That's the sort of language I like. It has to be said. I do wonder, actually. I know, some of us are pretty harsh on the stadium, and for me, the seats are too far from the pitch. They just are until I'll say that until they solve it and solve it properly. And I don't mean moving them forward by 6 inches, by the way, but until they close that gap and find a solution, I think I'll always be critical of it, because I don't feel we can impact games that aren't going our way. I'll give you, funny enough, the first Lyon game would be a great example. I don't think it was very well refereed. And I didn't feel we could influence the referee in that game. So I think, that is a hindrance. However, I do wonder how you're feeling, how you're thinking if you are a player and you're looking around and you're thinking, wow, look at this. There's, I don't always change how many seats there are. Let's call it 66,000, shall we? I know it might go up to 67.5 or whatever. Anyway, whatever. There's actually seats hiding underneath seats in there, have you seen? Which has to be the case, because they got 90,000 in there for the Olympics, as I've said before. Anyway, whatever. I think if you walk into that stadium and you didn't know about West Ham, you probably look around and think, crikey, this is... I didn't know about this. It's a big old club, isn't it? It's not 20,000 fans. That's for sure. Anyway, so I just did wonder, how much that influences. And I don't think it's just the stadium. Well, he's telling us as much. But I like hearing this. He's giving us the reasons he joined, what encouraged him to join, how he's been really surprised since he joined, and then how he really appreciates the welcome, doesn't he? And I think that's really, really important, actually. And I do wonder, I don't know if you saw this, by the way. So there was a suggestion. We're going to get an interview soon, and to give you some clarification on what happened with the Paqueta deal. We're going to hopefully get an interview with the agent involved in that and the closing of that deal. However, what was clear with that was that Arsenal were interested, but they couldn't quite get a bid together at the end. So, with that in mind, I do find it interesting that Arsenal might have been interested in Paqueta, but he's come to West Ham anyway. And what's happened is 3 of their players have not made the Brazil squad, which is a centre-back, is it Gabriel, something like that? And Martinelli's not made the squad, and Gabriel Jesus has not made the squad. Wow, how good. I don't know. Look, I don't want to overly criticise the Brazilian boss, because I don't know. In all honesty, I don't follow Brazil. Brazil might have 3 better strikers than Gabriel Jesus. Maybe they do. And if they do, fine. Who am I? But if they do, my word, they've got some good strikers. I think Jesus has been electric when he's been on Newcastle. Anyway, since he's been at Arsenal. And all the Arsenal fans are... I think they're all being a little bit conspiratorial about it. How come the Man United Brazilian players got in and not the Arsenal ones? Anyway, I don't know about all that. But from Paqueta's standpoint, I do wonder if he's looked at the Arsenal moving forward. Hold on a second. Maybe I've done all right here. Maybe the Brazilian coach just doesn't like Arsenal. He wouldn't be the only one, would he? Let's be honest. Anyway, there you go. There's your news roundup for the day. We've got football... football tomorrow. I'll be back with another video tomorrow. I might sandwich a couple in there, because myself and Gio have also recorded. We got given a question, basically, as I alluded to it before. Is Scamacca going to become the next Sebastian Haller, which someone... and it's sort of... We got it as one question. We got a lot of questions, but it sort of snowballed into quite a long conversation, really. So we'll release that at some point. But it's quite a generic content, and I wanted to do something to get myself... to get myself worked up with some more current news more than anything. Anyway, I do hope we see Scamacca, by the way. I hope Scamacca starts against... who bloody hell are we playing again? Who are we playing? Oh, bloody hell. I've got to go and... Silkeborg. I should know it's Silkeborg. I had Viborg in my mind, and then FCSB. I'll tell you what, it's an education, isn't it? It's an absolute education, this Europa adventure, which I hope continues. I hope we win the group comfortably. I'll tell you what, no, I'll deal with it with Gio. The Everton game is a huge game. It's a huge game. A bit worried about it. A bit squeaky bum about it. Anyway, thank you for watching to the end. Look, you know what? You lot that watch to the end, you're my favourites, all right? Just don't tell the others.